Now that right there, that's so that's like kind of the regular way to do it. So this is kind of a substitute for this part right here. So when they go, God in three persons, blessed Trinity. So instead of doing that, even like a walk down, you could do that. So instead of going, you can either do a walk down, but this is one move that I do a lot. So a lot of times instead of going to doing the walk down to the three, I'll go so so you can go from that six. So but in my left hand, right, I'm just playing that same chord, but it's like sort of just on the bottom in like a different inversion. So now you can make it a little lighter too. You can make the chord a little lighter. And a lot of times, if you're doing quick movements, like you can do something like that, where you can just sort of take a lot of the notes out and just leave those the essential notes. So I'm just playing the triad. So I'm doing two notes in my right hand. I'm doing one note in my left hand. So I'm still playing the E flat minor, that sixth chord, because we're in the key of F sharp or G flat, excuse me. And so I'm playing E flat minor, but I'm going to take this note right here, the root of the note, the E flat. I'm going to put it down here. So instead of here, I put it down here. It makes it a lot more full, even though I'm only playing three notes. Here again, I'm taking this because I'm playing a five, which the five and G flat is D flat. So I'm taking that D flat and I'm putting it on the bottom. So and then so in my right hand I'm going, but in my left hand I'm just doing the regular. So and I'm playing that same thing with my bass pedals. So all right. Now, another thing that you can do is you can actually and this is going outside of the scale, but one of the gospel moves that we usually do is where you're going from, instead of, so you're actually going from six, which is E flat, and then you're going to go to C, then F, then B flat, which is a three. So there's different ways to get to that three chord from the six chord. So instead of going, okay, so we're gonna go. So Now I'm still taking that same approach where I'm actually playing two notes in my right hand, but now in my left hand I'm playing more notes. Um so so that's what I'm doing in my right hand. But in my left hand, right? So this is what I'm doing. I'm going so instead of doing so another thing that we can do, and this is on the last part of that whole phrase, okay? So instead of doing God in three persons, right? So what we can do, rather than going from the 4 to the flat 2, going up to the 2, what instead of doing this, leading to the, what you can do is, instead of going to that 4, you can actually, we're gonna here again borrow from outside of that scale. So we're gonna go to the C, to the 7, which is the F, to the B flat, which is 3, E flat, which is the 6, and then we're gonna go back to the 2, okay, to finish it out. Blessed Trinity. So this here again is a circle of fifth, and what makes it so effective is the fact that, like I said before, when you're doing circle of fifth, there's such a strong pull for it to resolve, and this is what I mean. So I'm going from so instead of going persons, I'm gonna go like this. And finish it. So I'll slow down the move. So back to the 2. Okay. So what I'm doing when I'm hitting the C, right? I'm just doing a regular triad, okay? But this is gonna be an E flat triad over C, okay? So it's really like just a regular C minor 7 chord, but just to make it easier, I'll just say it's an E flat triad over C, okay? So, but now I'm gonna keep that same triad, right? I'm going to keep that same triad even when I go to the F. But here again, my left hand is going to be the thing that changes. So it's going to go like this. So now in my left hand, it's going to go like this. Or so I'm hitting C in the bass, and from the bottom to the top, G, B flat, E flat. So it's a C minor 7 chord. Okay, and then I'm gonna take that same triad. I'm gonna leave it in my right hand, and in my left hand, I'm gonna play what that triad is. I'm not gonna play that E on top. I just don't do it. I mean, you can if you want, but I leave it like this. And then when I get to the F, all right, F minor 9. So it's gonna go. You see? So God in three persons. Okay. So let's do that again. All right. So now the next part, right, is so when we're following the melody. God in three persons. Okay. So all right. So it's a lot of inner working movement. So I'm going to the 3 to the 6 because we want to get to the 2. Okay, that's our landing spot. So So now I'm going to break it down. Um, so when you get to the B flat, you're going to go. So when you're right hand, I'm playing just an E flat triad. It's 3 notes. But then in my left hand, I'm playing. Okay. You see? So playing them together. And then with the B flat in the bass. So now here's where the voice leading comes in. So I'm gonna take my left hand and I'm gonna move that C down a half step. I'm gonna move this E flat down a half step. So I'm going. That's what I'm doing with my right hand. I have this, and then I'm going. I'm playing a tritone, so it'll make sense. Okay. And then I'm still on the 3. Okay. So God in 3 persons. And then when I hit the E flat, so and then when I hit the E flat, and my top note is still B flat, so that doesn't move. So then when I hit the E flat, so I'm playing in my right hand from the top, B flat, F, D flat, A flat, and I'm moving these 2 notes down a half step. I'm just moving the A flat and the F down a half step. Everything else stays the same. So you see? So and check it out. So now, so we've gotten back there to the 2 and finished it off. 5 to the 1. So let me put it all together. So we're actually gonna go like this. So that's that part. And if you want to turn it around, so a turnaround, right? When we want to just keep repeating God in 3 persons, blessed Trinity. So instead of just going on the 1, so instead of doing that and then doing and going back to the so instead of doing that, what we can do is revel on the 5, and then that 5 and it's because that 5, right, it builds up tension. And here again, it just builds up that anticipation. So instead of going to 1, it sounds 2 resolved. If you want to build up more tension, like, okay, we still gonna do it again, that 5. And now what I'm doing is I'm going back to the 6 for God and 3 persons. I want to go back to the 6. So what I do for that is I'm just doing a diminish. Then, so, okay, or so let me just do that one more time, all right? And I'm gonna do it with the build up on the 5, okay? So. Actually do it quick like this. So you can take those same concepts and apply them to other songs. So on the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show how you can apply those same things that we learned here to other songs and what other songs we can apply them to. All right, so stay locked.